Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know if it's season 9 or season 8. It could be either or. There should be episode 16 of season 8, but it may be season 9 of episode 1. I don't know. But I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video, and also, if you would, please subscribe to my channel, and you can leave your comments below. But let's get into this episode. I'd say, welcome back, y'all, to this interesting season. We're picking up where we left off about 2 months ago. The girls are still on the trip, and we just found out that Mel was teaching Ariane coleslaw. Some people call her something else. If you're in the YouTube streets, you know what she's called. How to respectfully cheat. Mel and Destiny, they're just going back and forth, nothing really solid. Destiny gets up, and everyone's like, sit down, sit down. Destiny's like, no, I'm gonna stand up if I want to. We know Destiny's past is that she's ready to fight. So anyways, Destiny goes outside. Mel does feel away, like she was charging, she was leaning towards me, If it gets to that point, then I don't really want to deal with you. So I think it was Sunny, Trisha, not Sunny, Stormy, Trisha, and possibly Tisha. They went outside and said, no, come back so that we can actually get some things established. They were talking with Destiny about it. So she ended up coming back. At this point, I guess Mel was still heated. And Destiny was like, well, let's talk about you saying that I was sleeping with your husband. I find it quite convenient, even though it's like, Mel may just still have been heated and she didn't want to deal with Destiny, but at the same time, when it was time to become accountable for what she was saying that Destiny was messing around with Martell, she didn't want to hear it. It was by and just talking over Destiny, acting like she didn't hear nothing. So the day was done. They leave and they're going back to their cars or whatever, or transportation. Again, it was spoken out of Shanita's mouth about an ops. And Letitia finally said, hey, what is it about this op stuff? You don't know me, blah, 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 blah. Shanita didn't like that. And Kimmy took her to the side. I got stuff to lose. She don't. I got stuff to lose. She better not. Shanita, well, I'm going to just say it later. I don't know. I don't like it when you got these so-called bosses and these so-called, how can I say this? Supposedly successful people always got something down to say, like, you just so better because you know how to, because you're a boss and you got all this money and flow, and looking down on others and you don't even know what's in their bank account. They don't even know what they've achieved successfully. We don't know what you've achieved successfully. We don't know you. We just know that you're Mel's friend. And you said, I got stuff to lose. She don't. I don't. But all this time you have been antagonizing and instigating with calling her ops. You've said it millions of times. We've seen it in too many flashbacks. So what you say later on in this episode is total BS. So Kimmy finally said, what you have been saying can get you to the Tisha getting up in your face. It's not saying that she should have, but she did because of what you were doing. She said, oh, if she don't want me to say that, then I'll not say that. Good. So Destiny and Sunny, I don't really want to talk about them because it's over. I don't care. Now, Sunny, she's still be on social media doing her mess. I think Destiny has done something in the beginning of the first half of the season, because she would review the show also with her therapist or whatever. But anyways, I don't really want to talk about it because there's nothing there. I think Sunny finally said, you know what, we were getting cool or something. Even if you don't want to say friends, whatever. I don't care. I really don't. So I think this is okay. So they get back to the house. Tisha and Destiny were speaking, and also Mel and Shanita. Mel said, Destiny said, I'm sorry when we were out in the hall there. But I don't want to be friends. I don't have no friends that I want to talk. Nothing. We can just be cordial. And that's just that. The next day, touring. They're in these ATV driving cars. It's reminiscent because that was even brought up from season 3 when the group went to Las Vegas. with Mel and Destiny. They were driving, but Destiny said, look, I don't want to drive with Mel because Mel is not that good of a driver, even outside of any type of ATV racing. They get to the mountaintop. Mel's been flirting with her island boy. We don't know if she actually gave him some or not. It would be nice. Go ahead and get it. Nobody's complaining if you do get it. Mel brought up, we appreciate you showing your receipts as to what Moses was doing. Moses was playing both of you guys. And we could have just went off what she was saying or whatever. But I get that and I understand where you were coming from. Mel said, how do you guys now coexist? And Dusty said, we don't. They can go back to St. Louis. I agree. Why are you here? And now because you're flipping houses in St. Louis, you need to do it in Huntsville specifically. And Destiny said, well, he's talking about me a lot here while in Huntsville. So why do I need to keep being reminded of him? Then Mel said, well, it looked like Stormy has someone around here that she can hang with. Wasn't she hanging around Sonny? And Stormy said, no, she was my producer. That was it. Like, don't put that on me. Not in that way. Destiny also said, look, I realize some of the things that I've been doing. And from my own experience now, I get it that I don't want you to have to keep being reminded of your pain with Martell. I think that those were two grown-up things, but it does feel like between Destiny and Mel, they weren't going to let their guard down or admit anything unless one or the other started saying something. I really do feel like Mel and Destiny are two of the same people. They are two of the same kind. There's been growth. That's why I said there was ebbs and flows. This, and we'll go a little bit further. But it's like they're going to be petty and immature to the same degree. It's like looking at two of the same coin. A lot of y'all are not going to agree because you're fans of Mel, and maybe I got some fans of Destiny over here too. But they're both the same, and they act very childish at times too. Again, Mel just saying in her confessional, I just want to coexist with Destiny. That's it. So later on, while they're still at this mountaintop, great view and all that good stuff, we get Destiny wanting to pull Mel over to talk a little bit more. Honestly, Destiny, I would have left it there and said, can we have a conversation later on? Because it was just like, let's savor this moment here. Y'all getting over some humps. Stuff that should have been said years ago. She said, I really want you to know, you should know that I never slept with Martell. And even if you don't know, I'm telling you now, I never. And then Mel was like she was still letting it go on in that way. We know previously Mel was the one that made the semantics of, I don't know what people were doing. And that's what made people run with things that they did. And that's when Destiny was like, there's things that you talk about that makes it seem that will make things build a larger snowball or snow pile. I'm putting it in my own words. It carries weight after it's insinuated and all that. So then Mel said, well, since we're talking about that, what did you mean when you said about my mom pimping me out, Miss Van? Destiny said, look, I should not have said that, and I apologize. I own up to that. And Mel was like, no, I need to know where that came from. How did you actually do this? Did you, what? I think in a way, I guess Mel wanted her to kind of say that I was lying about this. I can see Destiny saying that in the heat of the moment. Did it mean anything? No. At least in my mind. But then Destiny gets in her confessional saying, no, well, I meant what I said about what I said, but I shouldn't have said it in the way that I did. Meaning, she's trying to say that Miss Van doesn't hold her accountable. And I feel like that's a form of pimping her out. Because if you say anything about Mel, you'll always be attacked. But you will benefit if you just be on Mel's side. She's her mother. Even though y'all don't like Miss Marlene. But she's her mother. You don't know what she says to her off of camera, Destiny. That is such BS. It would have been better if you had told Mel, I made that up in the moment. In the heat of the moment, I said that. There is no other type of meaning or relevance to what I said. To that. I don't know if it had legs and got fired. I heard that there are Mel haters out there. And I'm sure that they hate her. Some hate her because she didn't pick Martell or stayed with Martell. I know some that don't like it that Mel divorced Martell. And there's just some people that just don't like Mel. I don't like her in ways. I don't totally just but there's just ways that she has about herself that I don't really like. But am I campaigning? I hate Mel. No, I don't even hate her. I just don't like some of her ways. Sorry. So that's the part where I'm saying where it looks like both of them are the same people. I think Destiny and Mel. Destiny is a Taurus, and Mel's a Scorpio, and those two can either be the best. Once they clash, that's it. They're both bullheaded folks. Candy and Phaedra had that Taurus and Scorpio. It was good, and then all of a sudden, once they clash, it's like it's over. So, I don't know. I think I would have let things breathe. Anyways, at that point, Mel did say that we could talk later. And I think maybe that there's some growth in it. I don't know. But we do know that because of how social media wants to be, Mel went on her TikTok weeks ago, and she's still upset with Destiny. So that didn't go over well after the trip or whatever. But let's move on. Maurice and Maurice Jr. I don't call him that other name. Maurice is helping him with, I guess, football. He's entering his senior year. Actually, a bunch of the other boy cousins, because Marcel's son Marcel's son, Marcel and Tisha's son, are going in the same grade. They're going to be seniors too. So he's up and with football. It still feels like Marcel wants his son to rely on a football scholarship to get him through college. I just wish that there was something less traditional that a lot of black families put pressure on black men to do. Because either you go join in the army or you need to get into sports in order to pay for college. And I get it that a lot don't have that. But I mean, what about academically? He does speak about that. And I can appreciate that during this talk with Maurice and his son. They talk a little bit about where he wants to go to college. He wants to go to somewhere in California. Is this about girls? About a girl? And he's like, kind of, sort of. So I guess Maurice wants him to not get himself caught up in a girl, which is cool. And I think men need to say that to their other male child, because you're quick to say, don't get caught up in a man if you had a girl. But then you're like, well, why are you? He was like, his son said, well, why are you talking about girls? Mom doesn't even talk about that because she's a girl. Well, really, women will talk about that to their boy child, to their male child. So obviously there is a different relationship between Maurice Jr. and Kyla, and Maurice Jr. and Maurice. And I really think Kyla knows more about her son. And I think that she knows that he's not really into girls like that. Like, let's just say he's not a horn dog and not governed by, so that's probably why she's not even talking about that. Because I'm telling you, moms will talk to their boys about these women. And mostly it's about the women can be trifling and not really about their sons. Traditionally so. And then they just talk a little bit about how they miss Kimmy around. And it's basically because Kimmy does things for them. That's all I got for you on that. And Maurice was like, well, you miss Kimmy's cooking? Because I'm going to eat. And she even taught you how to cook. But then they still want her cooking. We're still in all of these traditional modes, but hey, whatever. I think Kimmy still likes it, even as much as she says that she is drained and got an emotional support dog. So we leave that scene. I thought that was interesting that we got a cutaway for this scene, since all we've been seeing is the women on the trips. But okay. So now this is another scene where the women are eating dinner. Shanita does apologize to Tisha and says, I was joking. I thought we were just wink wink. Shanita Foster, you are a bald-headed liar. You've been saying all of this crap to Tisha since you got there. As if we don't know that you were coached by Mel to do this. Even when she was out in the water, she didn't know that you were saying that you were calling her ops. You were saying that that's your ops. And Mel had to say, why are you calling her the ops? What makes you say that? You know she's the ops. Blah, 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 blah. You were saying that because you wanted a reaction out of her. I was just joking. Tisha apologizes to her, and I don't even think Tisha should have apologized to her. You got what you were asking for, and you didn't get a lot. there's this conversation later on that is, I think, biting Shanita in the butt, because you just wanted to try to defend Mel in this moment, and it's like, well, you're getting what the rest are getting in a way. Sonny apologizes to Destiny as a woman. Destiny was in her confessional. It's all BS. Da 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 da. Because it's like, all this time you had all these offenses. It feels like the people that were doing all this defense or apologizing during this dinner, it was just la 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 stuff. Whatever. I didn't really get it. I wasn't feeling it. So I guess Destiny sat next to Mel, and it looked like she was breaking her neck to sit there. I think some of the tension that has been there was kind of broke, I'd say. But for you to try to almost sit in her lap, Destiny, is quite crazy. And it looks like, and it could be just that you missed her. I mean, y'all were baby mamas. I watched the show before it became an it show. And y'all know what I'm trying to say. I watched it, and I watched your relationship. And then all of a sudden it just broke down, and we're still trying to figure out why y'all actually are not friends. It was crazy. Who is it? My girl, Lord, Nell. She brings up Mel stands, da 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 da. It goes around the table at how they just feel about that. And they were trying to ask Mel, like, where do you stand in all this? And of course, Mel was like, I don't stand nowhere. I don't care. I can't control humans. I think to a certain degree, you can't really control humans. In what they do. They do stuff out of defense for you. And I think when silence is there, it makes it seem like that you approve of it. Now, I have heard that Mel has come out and spoken about it. And I've also heard that there are people that said, we don't care. We know what's best for you, so we're going to do this and that. I just need to know from you guys, like, do y'all do that for your own family? Because if so, I'm family, because I got some situations I need you to handle right quick. Because you're doing this for a person that you don't know, that you see for 42 minutes, an episode that's probably 5 to 10 minute scenes. And you think you know them, and she don't know you. She's not going to pay you a solid saying thank you. Thank you for trying to ruin Stormy's business. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for showing up at Stormy's warehouse to harass her. Thank you for that. Thank you for calling the city on the Scots. You know that they're just so mean and wicked. Some of this crap doesn't even make sense as a fan group. And the most that y'all can just keep saying is not y'all. For the millimeters. Unless you give me a scroll book of who all is a millimeter, we're going to go by that. Especially when they say that they are. You say, well, they're not real millimeters. Are they? Because even in your group, some of y'all can't get along. I listened to the live of when there was a Ponderosa that was led by Queen Sheba. Queen Sheba's kind of Mother Earth to the LAMH streets as far as when it comes to Mel. So she was trying to get some of you millimeters to stop being destructive towards each other. It's bad when there's a war within the camp. Because what was supposed to happen, Mel was supposed to have this event that it was like a Mel-con, like BravoCon, Mel-con. She canceled it because it got out at how treacherous y'all were being towards each other. And now y'all trying to act like y'all are civilized. Why are we being picked on? Why is all that? When I've watched y'all as millimeters do the things that y'all do. And it is terrible. Y'all have done reckless things to people, and some things that really require jail. If it's not you, cool. Some of y'all watch it go down and don't say nothing either. But to just blanketly say, how do you know? How? We see. Don't act like the millimeters aren't who the millimeters are. And there are other fans outside of the millimeter fan base that do stuff. Millimeters can be messy and destructive too. So don't leave yourselves out of this and act like, we're so above it. You're not. You're not. And I don't care. And as much as y'all want to fight and say it's other people too, you're a part of it. Own your part. Instead of being, what's the word? Deflecting. Own your part. That's all. That's all I got to say for this episode. It was kind of like all over the place. I was grabbing certain things. Possibly Mel and Destiny can get on a better place. I don't think that they'll ever be baby mamas again. I don't even want it because it's been too much. But at least enough that they can film scenes and there's not a bunch of friction in the air. Y'all can tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And I meant everything I said. Because I watched too much in the bushes and seen what y'all was doing. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video and also subscribe. Until the next one, peace.